There are official channels, but there are unofficial ones.
Who is he?
David, man, I'm gonna tell you, Relay had me on the edge of my seat all the way through. I love this movie. I actually want to see it again so that way I can pick up these little breadcrumbs you were laying down, because it had me guessing all the way till the end. Now, Relay taps into this modern digital paranoia, but also feels like a throwback to those gritty, character-driven 70s films, 70s thrillers. What was your way into the story, and how did you approach finding the right tone and to bridge those worlds together?
It's a really interesting, because you've touched on a lot of the things that connected me to the film, the idea of the film in the first place. So I mean, I definitely was trying to channel that 70s paranoia stuff and use the city of New York and also channeling a little bit of the classic film noirs as well. And where there's usually this sort of central relationship, with a kind of, slightly kind of, sublimated kind of, your romantic element, which is very much the flavor. But I wanted it to be a contemporary New York movie, and obviously deal with the contemporary issues of how to survive when people are trying to get hold of you without a digital footprint, and the world of whistleblowing and the world of corporate malfeasance and all that kind of political stuff, but not in a campaign type thing. Way. So it's a juggle of those things, and that's what you do when you go on the journey to make the film. It was 27 days shooting in New York. It was very, very sort of tight, and we just ran into it all the way, and I lent on the actors who were amazing, and it had a very kind of strong immediate feel. We shot on the live streets. We really didn't control the locations at all. Even the Times Square scene, which we shot in day one, which is terrifying. We had a tiny little triangle where the newsstand, we put the newsstand there. We controlled that. The rest of it, a constantly changing environment in one of the busiest places in the world. And I just love that. I love that flavor of just like knowing that you don't control it. And it was, that was very much part of the pleasure of it.
Incredible. Now, Ash is a fascinating character, part ghost, part protector. How did Riz Ahmed shape the moral complexity emotionally, and as this wounded fixer?
Well, I mean, Riz is an extremely smart and very intuitive actor, and really, he really dug down to try and find the character and work out his journey, and then just on the day, we're also very spontaneous. We're taking the opportunities that we can see and playing with stuff. And I mean, what a great example was there's a scene where he breaks his own protocol and actually pretends to be one of the operators he's using to be an intermediary so he takes a risk, but it's a calculated risk, and he does it because he's getting closer to the character. But that was something that we just kind of improvised the idea very close to the day of shooting it, and it was just a great idea for Riz, and I just thought, oh yeah, let's do that, because he's like getting closer into the lion's den, as it were, and you can see him beginning to drop his guard a bit in some way, which is kind of to emerge from the shell somehow, and he is, to begin with, this very kind of lonely, isolated, enclosed person, and then he begins to open up a little bit, which is an interesting journey for him.
Absolutely. Now, you said that the film is about unsung bravery of whistleblowers. What kind of research or real world inspiration informed the script and the characters?
I had an active researcher, Frederick Richter, on it, and we met quite a lot of former whistleblowers, obviously, who remain nameless, but we met people who had successful whistleblowing cases, made a lot of money out of it, but everyone we met all seemed to have a sense of loneliness, a sense that they'd been shunned by society, a sense that whatever they'd done, however brave it was, no one had recognized, really. They were back into the woodwork again, but their lives had permanently been changed, there's a sort of sense of sadness to that, and because Riz's character is a former whistleblower himself, or failed whistleblower, which wasn't in the original script. That's something that I evolved. it was just really, it was nice to give him those flavors, and so he was, meeting these guys as well, and I think he channeled quite a lot of that sadness, and the, it's not just sadness, it's like a particular type of bravery, somebody who can't turn away, and look the other way, and he, that was really important for him, I think.
Well, listen, you did a fantastic job, especially with these outsider characters that I think you thrive in, because Ash is one of those extreme versions of that. But congratulations on the film. Relay's fantastic. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Joseph. I really appreciate you liking the film, and all of the touchstones you mentioned means you clearly get it very, very, very well. So thank you.
They know who you are. You're in big danger.